Welcome to our new podcast on Compliance Week of 2025. I'm the host, Hitesh Sindwani. I have a very distinguished guest with us today, our Chief Compliance Officer, Mr. Prafulla Samal. Sir, welcome to the show.
Thank you.
Sir, you've been the catalyst in starting this initiative, this podcast. You've sponsored it. It'll be nice to understand from you what you thought was the background for this initiative. Please tell us more.
So, thank you so much, Hitesh ji,
Thank you, sir.
for having me in this program and giving this opportunity.
Sir.
And you have rightly said this is a kind of unique program we are doing, and this is the second year.
Yes.
We started last year.
Yes.
This compliance awareness week, the same way we observe in our bank, that is the vigilance awareness week.
Yes.
The purpose is to create the awareness.
True.
As you know, in the bank, people are mindful about the rules and regulations in the bank, but then we found there are somewhere the kind of seriousness or the interpretation of the various rules in true spirit,
Sure.
which is lacking. Then people are dealing with the public money, right? And therefore you need to have the highest level of trust and transparency in the system when you are dealing with the public money. So therefore we thought probably through this small effort we can create a kind of awareness and bring about some kind of a cultural change, and people will really understand what is the purpose of compliance. They do not know why compliance is required. So what is the purpose of compliance, and at the same time how we interpret the rules and regulation in their right spirit and do the things at the right time and the right way. Correct. And for the right purpose.
True.
And this will go a long way, in building the trust, transparency, governance, everything in the bank. So that is basically the purpose why we are doing this. And we also found that we are quite a bit successful.
Yes.
People are really taking it seriously.
Yes.
And has created a positive impact
Yes.
in the bank.
So this has a reach. We saw last time there were many views and a lot of people left comments as well. So it is nice, and I think it will only grow as this spreads further.
Yeah.
So coming back to you, you were CFO in your earlier role and now you're a CCO for the bank. Between the two roles, and both are very strong responsible roles for the organization, what sort of synergies do you see and how does it affect your current role?
See, as a CFO, and again coming to the CCO, there are quite a lot of similarities.
Okay.
So, CFO is responsible for the financial affairs of the company or the bank.
Yes.
Again, the rules comes into picture, the regulation comes into picture when you are dealing with finances. So you have to prepare the balance sheet that has to be in accordance with the law, and you have to create the systems which is we call the internal control system for financial reporting, has to be robust enough. True. And effective enough to see that the transactions or the affairs of the bank are processed in the right way and reported correctly, and it enhances your the reliability of your balance sheet.
Yes.
So that is very important. So financial prudence is important, and regulations play a greater role in that. In the same way, when you are a CCO, the role is even much larger. So it is not just financial propriety or financial prudence. It is much larger because you have to deal with many regulations. Banking is a regulated business.
Of course.
So you have RBI regulations. We are a listed entity, so you have SEBI, LODR regulations.
Yes.
We are owned by the government of India, so we have to also comply with the rules and regulations and expectations of the government.
Absolutely.
Apart from that, there are a series of other regulations like regulation relating to your consumer protection, regulation relating to SARFAESI, DRT or IBC. So a lot of regulation you have to comply with. And all these regulations are based on the two principles. The principle number one is how you enhance the value for the stakeholders, whether it is consumers or it is your shareholders or your employees or the government or the society at a large, how you can take care of all of them. And the second one, how you build a stronger and better and resilient institution, bank. So tomorrow any kind of adverse scenario that is coming, so you become strong and you do not fall.
True.
So that is the idea. So therefore, regulation plays an important role whether you are in finance as a CFO or you are
CCO.
as a CCO.
Ji.
And CCO role is much more important. Why? Because CCO has to take care of every stakeholders.
Right.
While CFO may take care of only shareholders, CCO has to take care of everybody. You have to take care of the customers, you have to take care of the regulators, you have to build the trust with regulator, you have to build the trust with the public at a large, because ultimately you are a public institution.
True.
At the same time, you also build the trust and confidence of your top management, that is the board of directors, etc. So everything is built on the trust, the transparency, the governance, the ethic, justice, everything. So that way I will say CFO role is really very vital in the bank.
Fantastic, sir. That's a very nice answer, sir. You've seen the bank evolve over decades, and not just bank but also the industry. From a governance standpoint, is there a moment or an experience that stands out for you that becomes a hallmark on governance? Is there any anecdote or story that you can share with us?
No, in fact, we have come across in our the last, I can say, 10 years of my experience in the bank. There have been a lot of situation where has given me a lot of learning and my changing perspective towards governance and compliance.
Okay.
The today's regulatory scenario is fast changing. Regulation change very fast, and we have adopted today the global standards of risk and compliance to the Basel II risk guidelines, etc. And the other regulation like your anti-money laundering, etc. has become very very stringent. So we have to deal with that, right? So when you deal all those things, it gives, sometimes we make mistakes and all. So it gives many scope for further learning and improving the things, and that way. And the way things are developing, you have to necessarily build stronger systems and processes. The regulation demands stronger, processes and systems, IT systems, be it IT systems or other systems, that demands that. So your organization remains compliant to every kind of changing scenarios. So it has to be also dynamic. Your systems and processes should be such that it can be dynamic and very adaptable to the changing regulatory environment. That is very important. And speaking specifically to a particular kind of, you said any example, there are a lot many examples, I will say. We have done mistake, of course, I cannot say in this forum, but there are many occasions where we did mistakes and we learned, and immediately we did a root cause why it has happened and how best we can do further improve our systems and processes, further improve our governance standards, and how best we can do so that we can bring more trust and transparency among the stakeholders, be it the employees or be it the customers or be it the board of directors.
Sure. I get that, sir. Sir, it's often said that compliance follows innovation, which means the changes first happen and then obviously the rules are framed and compliance happens. And we know that the banking environment now is changing rapidly. There is artificial intelligence coming. There is a lot of talk about processes getting automated. There is so much happening. How do you see the role of compliance over next 10 years with all this innovation that's on the brim?
So you see how the regulations today are evolving. The regulations are no more, prescriptive.
Right.
So they are now principle based, as I told you earlier. So it is not just rule how you read it.
Right.
You should understand the purpose of the rule, why the rule is there, and you should interpret in the right way. So we call it compliance plus culture.
Right.
So doing things in the right way, even nobody is watching you.
Yes.
So RBI now what they are doing today, so they have stopped issuing any kind of prescriptive regulations.
Okay.
So they have come up with principle based regulation where they will not prescribe what is to be done, right?
Right.
They will set the broad guidelines within which you have to operate, and it is your board of directors and the bank to frame appropriate policies, processes within that.
Right.
because prescriptive rules make it is very difficult to do business. It
Right.
takes away the ease of doing business and create limitation for your innovation.
Right.
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 Now, since we are all heading towards technological advancement, advanced technology, AI, ML,
Right.
lot of innovations are happening. So, specifically in a country like India, where the government has been so supportive in creating the digital public
encouraging.
infrastructure
Yes,
for
yes.
building an ecosystem where the entire set of population, we can bring them into the financial ecosystem that we call financial inclusion. So we
Right.
have to do lot many things.
True.
In a financial sector, innovation is a must. So
True.
therefore, our changing regulatory environment must support that. We cannot
Right.
make very stringent rules and all that.
Right.
But then, in a principle-based regulation, your role becomes more and more complex because nobody will advise you what to be done.
Right.
And when people will ask you, what is to be done, you also cannot tell them what exactly to be done. You can say at given point of time, this could be appropriate,
Right.
And
Right.
this could be, best,
Right.
right? If you tell me, I'll give you a practical example. How much rate of interest we should charge?
Right.
I'll say your rate of interest should be reasonable.
Right.
RBI also doesn't prescribe how much rate of interest we should charge or how much charges we should, in our transaction to customer
Reasonable.
we should charge.
Yeah.
They say it should be reasonable. You should not be too high, right?
Right.
And it should be comparable. It should be properly approved
Correct.
by your board or whosoever is the competent authority.
Right.
That way it works.
Right.
So many such things that is coming. The
Right.
primary idea is that to give more and more flexibility to the banks or organization to frame their policies, processes for better business.
True.
Today's environment, how the regulators look at us is that
Ji.
they will not prescribe you anything. They will give a broad framework,
Right.
within which the bank must operate, and frame their own rules and regulation that is conducive for their, business growth,
As the time
financial
passes.
innovation,
Right.
financial inclusion,
Right.
whatever.
True.
Yes,
True. True.
So that is where we stand.
Right. I get that, sir. And I think you explained it really nicely. So, the bank can also prepare for the future as we go along. So this was very descriptive. Thank you. I'll now bring us back from the future to the present state. And I wanted to ask you, as the leader of the function that you lead, what are the most common compliance challenges that you see for the bank? And how should our employees guard against them? Through this message, maybe you can just tell us.
Yes, of course. Although in the bank, people are aware of the rules and regulations. They know there is RBI, but they are not getting updated from time to time because the regulation changes very fast.
True.
So that is very important. How we can make the employees updated from time to time with all kind of regulations, and those things are coming into that. So there is a need for creating awareness and training, improving the training system and awareness system in the bank. So over last 1.5 years, we have been working, effortlessly in that direction. So giving trainings, lot of awareness, activities. We have also told our people, the compliance officer who are there in the field, so to sit with the people, discuss things, create awareness program at the field level. What are new things are coming, and if there are issues, they find out how we are going to deal with that. What kind of efforts, changes in our way of doing business is required to deal with that. So very important, employees training and awareness. The second point is that, are we making the things very complex for the employees? If the things are complex, then employee will try to deviate that. They will try to find some kind of a shortcut. Okay. So how we can make the rules and regulation very simple? The process is very simple. So IT comes a
Significant portion.
significant role in that, in designing our systems and processes, where we can make things very, very simpler. There could be certain things which we can totally automate, like your RPO robotic process automation, or AI ML comes into that, making transaction more seamless, giving assistance, on-time assistance to the employees when they have doubt in dealing with the things, and so that can be simplified. So simplification is very, very important. So we are also working in that direction. The third thing is the communication.
Right.
Communication is very important because the compliance flows from the top. It flows from the boardroom actually.
Absolutely.
And the people who are working in the branches, they do not know who is the board, who are the board of directors, what kind of decision being taken. So there is a need that such messages and expectations of the top management has to be conveyed to the bottom level at the right spirit. So we have to, and the communication has to be both way communication. The first is that all the expectations, everything of the top management must be communicated in the right spirit, and the employee in the branches should know why they are required to do this. At the same time, there has to be an upward feedback system from the employee. What kind of difficulty they are facing, what are their views, any complaints, and also we have to build that participative decision making system, wherein any kind of business decision you are making, including the target setting, where the people are involved in the field, and they will know that this is my target. I have decided. Discussion with the top management, I have decided. So I have a ownership from the day one with the target. I need not have to go and tell them after month end or quarter end, this is your target. You have achieved or not achieved, why or not achieved. Employee will feel from the day one that this is my target, I have set it for me. So I have ownership from the day one. So I will work from the day one to achieve it. That gives a, in a culture where people feel the ownership, they feel empowered. So that kind of environment we are trying to, build in the system, where the employee will be empowered to, they own the bank.
Yes, absolutely. And you said it so beautifully that it flows from the top, and very often the employees see it like that. And it is believed that compliance belongs to compliance department, but in reality, compliance is everybody's responsibility. You've narrated it in how you can make it everybody's responsibility, but how do you channelize that? How do you make sure that everybody sees compliance the way compliance function sees it?
Yes, there are some difficulties, some myth also. People feel that compliance is the job of the compliance department actually. So doing compliance for the sake of compliance is actually not a compliance. It becomes a tick box.
Yes, you're right.
So doing compliance for the purpose of what is required, why is required. Whether the compliance is required for better customer service. Yes, then people understand why I need to do this. So the kind of tick box culture is, we are not promoting tick box culture. We are promoting compliance in the real sense. The second thing which is important is that compliance has to be inbuilt into the business. Compliance as a function is actually, the CCO role is a second line role. It's not a first line role.
It is.
So what is important for the bank is the first line role, which is the business. The person who is opening a savings bank account or who is giving a loan has to do the necessary compliance then and there. The employee who is opening a account has to do KYC then and there. Or the employee who is giving a loan has to do the due diligence then and there. It cannot be done subsequently, Cannot be done subsequently. So it has to be done by the business. At the same time, it is everybody's responsibility. We call compliance is a shared responsibility therefore. So it is a responsibility of the top management in setting the standards of the compliance and making the proper way of communication to the field how they should do. At the same time, it is also the field responsibility to do the things in the right way. Promoting this this slogan we call business first, compliance must. That has been our slogan. But now this is further taken one step, further by our new MD and CEO sir who came, and he had taken a slogan where he said business first and compliance always.
Compliance always.
Yes.
Wonderful.
So that is a right kind of message, and the top management is totally aligned. They know that without doing the proper compliance, bank cannot grow. If you want to have a sustainable growth and win the trust and confidence of every stakeholder, then you must do business with full compliance.
Wonderfully said, sir. Thank you. And you spoke about the field. What are top 2-3 areas where branches must do the things right, or areas that you think we're currently slightly exposed on, and if you're able to tighten that grip, we'll be faster achieving our goals on compliance? What are those areas that you'd like to highlight?
I think 2-3 areas which I will definitely like to highlight in this forum. The first one and the most important is customer service.
Right.
How you deal with the customers and how easy for them to deal with the bank. That is we call it the customer convenience, right, or customer experience.
Right.
At the same time, how we manage their grievances. Even you do business in the best possible way, there will be some or other deficiency, customer will come with some complaint or that. But then how quickly and efficiently we are resolving that customer complaint, to the best of his satisfaction. Like you see, you have this badge which is
Right.
called My Bank,
My Pride. Yes.
So we have a bank centric culture.
Yes.
Right, organization centric culture.
Yes.
How we can further develop that into a customer centric culture?
Right.
Probably tomorrow we can have a slogan where we say, my customer, my pride. Because whatever we are getting today,
Yes.
my salary, everything, it comes from the money from the
customer.
customers only.
Yes.
It is out of the customers' money.
Yes.
So, right. So I have to necessarily take care of that. I have to place the customer one step above
Yeah.
the bank.
Yes. Yes.
Right. This is the first thing. We have to improve, the customer service across the bank. And if you see the regulations or rules, most of the rules or regulations are actually hanging around, the customer service or customer convenience today.
I agree.
Okay. So how you fairly treat them, how you give the best of services, how you transparently disclose all the terms and conditions, of the loan or deposit, whatever may be the product you are giving to the customer on the first time, and every time you change your rules and regulation or terms and conditions of the bank, you must communicate to the customer first. Okay, and you can deal with their account if you are recovering charges, this, that, you must inform the customer. They should be informed, right?
Yeah.
You cannot recover anything more than what is agreed between you and the customer.
True,
So customer is a must because it is his money.
Right.
It is the public money.
Yeah.
The second important thing which bank is dealing today, not only our bank, the entire industry is dealing with, is how we are dealing with the cyber fraud. Right?
Burning topic today.
Burning topic today.
Ji.
So still we have been seeing some set of further sensitization is required across the bank. Many times we tell that the customer has shared the link or customer has shared the OTP or something. So bank is not responsible. So to some extent right, but not fully right. Okay, because ultimately the money is with the bank. The systems and processes, whether it is the mobile banking software or it is the UPI software or it is your internet banking software on which customer is operating, is also built by the bank. Everything is built by the bank. Therefore, bank cannot say it is customer fault, right?
True.
We have to look that way. So we have to, at the end of the day, build the trust. Okay, when the customer is keeping the money with us, we must ensure him that your money is totally safe with us.
Absolutely.
And our systems and infrastructure which have been built to safeguard your money.
Correct.
Right. And therefore, it is essential that when we are at the branch level, when we are operating and dealing with the customer, we should be very careful in our KYC and due diligence processes. We should onboard the right kind of customers. We should not be onboarding customers just because we have a campaign, so we have to increase the number of accounts. We should not do that way.
Right.
We should do proper due diligence. Yes, right. This customer is bankable. Then after verifying everything, not only KYC but also proper due diligence, we should onboard those customers. Okay,
absolutely,
because they are going to be partner with us for a long time.
Absolutely.
Right? And that there should not be any fraudulent person coming into with fake KYC or
Yes.
improper
Yes.
KYC or
Yes.
something and started tempering our system and stealing our customers' money.
Absolutely.
So we have a larger responsibility.
Yeah.
So we must deal that. The third thing, which is very very important, is that for the bank, I will tell them, for the branches, is that please don't do any shortcut.
Yeah.
While doing the business. Today, nothing can be possible by making shortcut. Neither the business nor the compliance. The market is very tough. Competition is very tough. So bringing quality business, you have to put great deal of efforts.
True.
Right? Yes or no? So you have to go out of your comfort zone to bring the business. It's not easy.
Yeah.
It's not easy. If you think that I can make some kind of shortcut at the quarter end or month end, I get good business, not possible. Such business will not sustain.
Yeah.
Will not sustain. The same principle also applies to the compliance. Shortcut will never work.
Yeah.
If you want to do things rightly, you have to follow the proper processes.
Yeah. Yeah.
There cannot be, you cannot skip the processes. Exception is not permitted. Zero tolerance, we say.
Zero tolerance.
Zero tolerance towards non-compliance. So these are the messages I want to pass on the customer, because if you are not following those principles, so you are in difficulty, you are in trouble. And maybe the trouble can be so big, tomorrow it can attract any kind of penalty, it can attract any kind of business restriction, and great deal of reputational loss to the bank.
Absolutely.
So people must be aware of those things while dealing. Specifically when we are in the banking business, dealing with public money, customers' money, we have to be very, very careful on this. Because our organization, the branch is the first customer point.
Absolutely.
Like the customer trusts the branch. They do not know us, who are we. They do not know the MD, they do not know the directors. They know the branch manager.
Absolutely.
So the branch manager has to be the most trustworthy person for the customer. Very important.
Thank you, sir. Lovely message, and I'm sure it will resonate with a lot of people at the branches. In fact, one of the story that you spoke about the badge that we're wearing, My Bank, My Pride, I want to share with you that I represent customer service, and I came across a very nice story where Radisson Hotel employees were made to wear a badge that said, "Yes, I can." And the reason why it was put up is that very often when a guest wants something, people had a tendency of saying, "No, this is not available, that is not available." The change of culture happened in the hotel when they started putting the badge saying, "Yes, I can," which means think through, decide before you say no. And that's how the service changes. And you rightly said, all of these areas, the culture that you're trying to build will eventually lead to better customer service and better delight for customers. So, sir, coming back to you as a leader, tell us what is one principle that you live by?
So, one principle that I follow, Hitesh, is honesty.
Very nice.
Honesty is the best policy. And specifically when we are working in the field of financial services. And I have spoken about the trust. So, when it comes to honesty, so not only you, the entire environment or ecosystem, that could be your team or people that has been working around you, and whom you could able to influence or who are influenced by your actions or anything, you have to ensure that the entire ecosystem becomes honest and trustworthy. That is very, very important. So not only you have to take care of your own honesty and transparency, integrity, you have to also take care the honesty and integrity of the entire ecosystem.
True. That's paramount, sir. If you were to define UBI in one word, what would that one word be, sir?
Undoubtedly, one word is trust.
Trust. Fantastic. Good people to bank with.
Good people to bank with.
And trust comes with it.
Without trust, you can, banking business itself is the trust. It goes on the trust. So I'll give you a nice example.
Yes, please.
So when you are giving a loan to someone, you sign an agreement, loan agreement. You take a mortgage.
True.
Customer give you crores of money, deposit. Do they sign any agreement? Do they ask any security mortgage? Why they give money? They give money only with one word, trust.
Yes.
The bank will take care of my money.
True.
So therefore, every sphere of our banking business, we must uphold the trust.
Fantastic. Very nicely put, sir. So a piece of advice that you often give your team members?
Lead by example.
Lead by example.
Or lead by example.
Fantastic, sir. Thank you. And this is
because I'll say again, I'll add few words.
Yes.
People are now watching you. They judge you.
Right.
And if you say something and do something else, then people will definitely mark it.
The credibility goes down.
Credibility goes. Yes. And when you give a piece of advice to your team or to the people, first thing important that you are actually doing it.
Right.
And whatever you say, people will not listen. Whatever you do, they will only see and they will do.
Fantastic.
Just like in your family, you are the father.
Right.
and your son does what you do, because he looks you as the role model, and my father is the hero, and what my father does I'll do, because that I believe that is the best principle. So therefore you must do what you say,
Absolutely.
and you should do the right thing, and you should say the right thing.
Fantastic, sir. Thank you so much. This has been such a lovely interaction with you, and I've personally learned so much while talking to you. But I would want to end this conversation by one message that you would want to leave for our audience and people in Union Bank who would be watching this podcast.
One message is the same, I will say, that business first and compliance always.
Fantastic.
Because without business, there is no compliance. Compliance will become very costly. And in fact, if there is no business, what to comply?
Absolutely.
So we are one of the top 4 biggest bank in the country, right? And we take care of entire country's population.
Right.
So we must grow the business. We have to take care of the entire, financial ecosystem of the country, and we have to be a very important part in the developing India, the Viksit Bharat.
Right.
That cannot happen unless we grow.
Right.
And we take care of every partner, every stakeholder, every population of the country.
Right.
So business first, and business must, compliance always.
There you have it, ladies and gentlemen. You heard it from the leader. Business first and compliance always. Thank you for tuning in. This is Hitesh Sandhani signing off.